Hello, everybody. This is All Star Productions, and first of all, I want to make a huge announcement going on. Uh, I officially have the microphone. I don't know if you can tell if it sounds any different or sounds better quality or whatever the case may be, but I have the microphone now. Now I just need to figure out how I'm gonna set it up in a way where I can record the way I want to while still being comfortable. So that's going to be a bit of a change. Um, I'm going to have to figure that out. Um, Actually, I'm going to do that real quick before I start off this video. So just a moment. And I'm back. I'm hoping that this makes it sound a little bit better, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. um, you'll have to let me know if it does actually sound any different or not. That would be great if you could let me know. But now we're talking about something I've been thinking about now for a little bit because I've been looking at the highlights and um, making a lot of of observations based off of what I've seen so far. Um, and based off of what you're seeing right here, you probably already have kind of an idea of what I'm going to get into. World of Mixed Martial Arts 6. I've already done a bunch of videos and episodes on um, talking about the announcement and kind of some things that could be in WMMA6 and kind of some ideas of what could be some of my series that I do in the future because I will be doing content on WMMA6 the moment the game comes out and I know about it. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to record a lot of videos. But uh, now I want to tell you guys what I've been thinking about for since the announcement came back in February. What I want to see happen in WMMA 6. Let's go back though to WMMA 5. It's legendary. It's chaotic. It's deep, unpredictable. I mean, it's the reason we got All Star Pro, Infinity Fights, Aurora Championship, um, All Stars Women, and the madness that came with the series is. But WMMA 6, that's the future. That's the next evolution. That's the game that could take everything we love and crank it up to 11. So today I'm going to break down the features, improvements, and absolute dream additions I personally would want to see in World of Mixed Martial Arts 6, the comeback. The stuff that would make the game bigger, better, more smooth, and even more chaotic in the best way possible. So without any further ado, let's talk first about what the announcement says. Adam Ryland made this post in February 17, saying, "We are pleased to officially announce that World of Mixed Martial Art that the World Mixed Martial Arts franchise is coming out of retirement with World of Mixed Martial Arts 6 The Comeback scheduled to be released by Grey Dog Software in the summer of 2026 with well over 250 additions and upgrades from the previous edition. This promises to take the series to new heights. Fans can expect the ever popular Developer's Journal, which we'll see daily reveals of new content, which is to begin in a few months. And a lot of people were having lots of different opinions and a lot of different ideas of what they think could be making improvements and what they think should happen in this new edition. Um, But now we go into the update that took place on June 6th that I made a post about too. As he says, as we're now into the summer period, here's an update of where we are at World of Mixed Martial Arts 6, the comeback. And if you haven't read the initial short announcement, you can read that where we just were at. Previously, I mentioned that there were over 250 new additions and modifications in the game. Since then, based on testing and some late suggestions, we put in a lot of extra work to enhance the game even further. As a result, the number is now going to be 320 plus new additions and modifications, which I think makes this one of the largest sequels we've ever done. Given all the extra content, this is going to mean the game is likely going to come out slightly later than anticipated. We're still hoping it'll be a summer release, but it might be a very early autumn/fall release instead. The following is the new schedule. Final testing is about to start in about 2 weeks. So, where we are about right now. Ish. And if everything goes well with testing, the aim is to start promoting the game and begin the developer's journal in mid to late July. If testing results in unexpected extra work being needed, then we may delay the journal by a week or two. The journal is anticipated to last for 4 weeks, with the release happening the week immediately after the journal completes. So a mid to late August release would be the expectation, as has been the case with all of our releases. Week 1 will be a public beta, with the full retail release being the following week. As mentioned previously elsewhere, the launch of the developer's journal will feature a frequently asked questions, where I'll be answering some of the common questions that have come up. Finally, to avoid having 2 threads needlessly on the same topic, this update post will be locked. Please use the initial WMMA6 thread, linked above, for comments in general chat about the game, blah 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 blah. You kind of get the gist there. So, lots of different things being added, potentially. And since we're in the topic of that, let's go into some things that I would want to see in World of Mixed Martial Arts 6, the comeback. The first thing I'd want to see, a world that feels even more alive and even more dynamic. While we're getting into it, World of Mixed Martial Arts 5 already has a great simulation engine, but imagine WMMA6 taking that an even further notch, and that most likely is going to happen. An example of that would be fighters with evolving personalities. I'd want the fighters' personalities to actually change over time. Maybe a humble rookie becomes a cocky champion, or a trash talker mellows out after a losing streak, or a veteran ends up becoming a mentor, or a rising star ends up becoming a diva. Like something that the world could shape, and that the game should let the world shape. I'd want the fighters to be able to have realistic career arcs as well. Have them be able to reinvent themselves. I mean, this already kind of happens, but switch camps or gyms, or to be able to change styles, maybe be able to move weight classes more dynamically, maybe have more of an option of having, like, forcing them to retire or having them come out of retirement. Maybe they have a moment where they fall off dramatically or peak unexpectedly. Have it kind of feel like an actual story. And then also give more interactions between the fighters. For example, like gym beefs, like beefs between people in gyms. Um, maybe fighters form an alliance or they call each other out, um, or fighters switching camps because of drama make the world feel more like a real mixed martial arts ecosystem. You know what I mean? And moving on from fighters and going straight into the fight engine itself. The WMMA fights are already pretty cool to watch. It's cool to see what all different things could happen, but at the same time, it after a while it gets kind of after a while it gets kind of predictable. But WMMA6 could take it up to another level. More detailed fight moments with flash knockdowns, momentum swings, fatigue shifts, fighters adapting mid fight. Maybe we get an option to see what both corners coaches are saying and like be able to make every fight feel like a story or a movie going on. Have more finishes. We've already kind of got this, but be a little bit more descriptive on the stoppages. With like maybe instead of it just saying TKO cut, maybe it'll say something like TKO doctor stoppage or TKO corner stoppage. Um, show some of the freak injuries, more rare submissions, some weird scrambles, and give us some more controversial decisions. Um, let the chaos reign, basically, and um, maybe let the fighters feel a little bit more different. A karate fighter shouldn't fight like a Muay Thai fighter, obviously, or a wrestler shouldn't fight like a kickboxer, or you know, a pancration shouldn't fight like a jujitsu specialist. Actually, make the styles matter is kind of where I want to go with this. And this is kind of a big one, but a deeper side into promotions in the companies. WMMA 5 is already deep, but WMMA 6 could make running a promotion feel like even more like running a real company. Give out more control over production. Give us the opportunity to be able to customize walkouts, how that could go, lighting and arena layouts, and maybe give us a little bit more of a preset for the broadcasters or the commentators. Um, allow us to see some fighter hype packages and maybe even some more promotional content. So that way we're kind of able to build more of a brand if that kind of makes sense. Um, maybe more financial tools where we're able to get sponsorships, so that way we could get sponsorship deals with, for example, Monster Energy or uh, maybe something like um, Oreo or maybe even McDonald's. Just like sponsorships, that kind of deal. Um, maybe allow us to give a little bit more in depth into this is kind of what TW already does, but like kind of what TW does with the merchandise, if that kind of makes sense. Make it so we could, build a merchandise table type deal. And also what TW does here as well, allow us to change the pricing for tickets. Make it something where it could be like cheap, very cheap, free, normal, premium, you know, something like that too. And also maybe have it also be something where a fighter, maybe some fighters want to get paid more than other fighters, even if they like don't base it not necessarily just off of popularity sake, but off of the fighter's personality and how they want their career to end up, like, and just all this other stuff. Be a little bit more competitive with the fighters in financially too. Uh, so that way we get even more pressure on how to run a real business. Have more drama take place between promotions. More of bidding wars, more hostile signings, and this could be a big one too. Cross promotional events where UFC or and for example UFC and PFL could hold a cross promotional event. I think that'd be really cool to be able to do. Talent raids, promotional rivalries, being able to show like beef going on within media purposes, make the world more competitive. And with that, also going on to um going back to fighters, we're gonna go a little bit more in depth on the fighters though, on emotion. WMMA fighters do have personality in some shape or form, but WMMA6 could make them feel alive, as if this was real life. Let the fighters have motivation systems, whether that is they could be driven by revenge or legacy or money or pride or rivalry or providing for themselves and their family, or hell, even any fears they may have. Let the motivation be able to affect what their performance could be. Um, and for also mental states. Imagine a fighter choking under pressure, or a fighter who rises to the occasion, or a fighter who loses his or her confidence, or being unstoppable, excuse me. Well, I guess unstable works too, but unstable and unstoppable when motivated. Make it the mental side of things matter during a fight or even post fight, like back behind the scenes even. Um, More relationships too. Um, I mean, sometimes it doesn't really have much of a opportunity to build relationships. Um, some fighters, some kind of just bring in a thing on their personal life, being like, "Hey, this person's my sibling," but that's about it. Make it more in depth. Um, Maybe somebody can talk about, like, maybe when we get sent mail, maybe it could be something where they make a new friend, or when a sibling enters in the game, they could be like, hey, you should sign my sibling to your promotion as well, or have more of a mentor student dynamic, or uh, give us more of who could be bitter enemies on and also who could be loyal to the gym they're working out at, or even betrayals of the gyms they're working at. Let the relationships be able to shape what a fighter's career could become. And finally, more tools for storytelling. WMMA6 could end up being the ultimate sandbox as well for content creators and just for anybody in general. Um, I think allowing us to be able to bring in more uh, kind of what TW9 does with the angle system, where you can kind of type out everything you want to happen. So, like, for example, summaries for a press conference, or drama that could take place at the weigh-ins, or potential incidents that could take place within the media, or within a show, or just really anything behind the scenes, even. That's kind of where I'm going with this here. Speaking of media, some quotes from the media, or maybe even have something where we have a little bit of a social media with tweets and Instagram posts, or, it doesn't have to be necessarily just that. It could just say social media, make it a little bit basic, but it could, there could be a lot going on there too. With that being said, talking about the social media, having fighters posting any trash talk going on, or updates on their training, any more opportunities for fighters to call out other fighters besides just the post-fight interviews. Maybe there could be like some memes made out of the social media systems, or breakdowns, or hints of retirement. You could go really far in depth into this social media system, which I was just thinking this would be incredible to do. And WMMA5 already does a good job with this, but allow us to be able to track the history in a more detailed way. Timelines within the rivalry, fight by fight career arcs for the fighters, history on injuries, history on the gyms, a little bit more lineage in a little bit more detail on lineage for championships. Like, we should be able to look back at any promotion and be like, or any database or any save game, and be like, yeah, no, this world's got some lore. Something that I think WMMA6 could really work on about too, as well. And that's ultimately most of what I would want to see in WMMA6. I didn't mention everything because this would also end up being a long ass video, probably. But just a deeper world, an even smarter fight engine, a more emotional fighter experience, a more powerful promotion mode, tools that will let us create the craziest, most dramatic, most chaotic mixed martial arts universes possible. WMMA 5 gave us legends, but WMMA 6 could give us immortals. Let me know in the comments what you would want to see in WMMA 6. Because when this game drops, you already know it's going to be something insane we're building with it. I'm All Star Productions. Thank you all for watching. And now, in the next video, I'm going to go into the things that I don't want to see in WMMA 6. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Peace.